get this started. Let's see. The 8-bit adventures. Now, can join the chat. Cat. P colon // here. Add to your post. Okay. Let's get some people in here. Put my headphones on. Whee!
One.
Hello.
Hello.
Sean's video has.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Do it. It's likely my computer because I have already started the stream. So.
I don't know.
I mean, my computer is not a potato. But we'll say hyper potato is gonna hyper potato.
Do you have the new machine yet?
No.
Oh.
They apparently ran the wrong credit card number.
What?
And sent me a message that was like, "Oh, you need to call us and send the correct credit card number." So that held it up. It just went from warehouse to production.
Wow.
So I will not have it before Christmas. I
Oof.
don't know what's going on. Let's turn this off and then we'll turn this back on. What's going on? What's going on? One moment. I really hope that I don't have to
Restart.
Or close OBS.
Yeah.
And then do it again. Because that's silly. Well, let's see if OBS will do it. No, it's not coming up there either. So, remove. Yes. Sounds like it's just being a butt. Old camera. Oh,
Oh,
are you guys seeing anything?
I see a freeze frame of you.
same.
That's the old camera. Test video. Oh God, what's going on? All right. Here's what we're gonna do: is we're going to.
Mm.
Oh, why don't we try this once more? No. Nope. That's the
Almost.
Yay! Yay! Hey, turning it off and turning it back on again for the win.
yes. Yeah, these are all things that are basically related to my computer not handling running Discord and OBS at the same time.
It's because you're doing too much. How do you
apparently
expect me to do this?
Apparently. So. But yes, apparently, whoever is making that Sonic film did not learn the lesson of the Super Mario Brothers film.
Is it going to be live action?
Yes.
Awesome.
I was
totally. I thought it was going to be some crappy cartoon. Now I'm totally in.
No, instead it's going to be a super crappy live action film.
Play Sonic 06. Maybe the worst game of all time. And you'll get an idea of what it's like to have Sonic and
the movie poster has a set of blue furry legs, and then wearing red trainers. That. Yeah.
Ew.
What you might not have
people
noticed.
Have already been photoshopping it with like weird things.
What you might not have noticed was that in the bridge, there's etched in, like scratched in there, Sonic was here with WUZ.
Yeah.
Like
Sonic's got attitude.
I was actually laughing because I did an event match or a spirit battle the other day in Smash, and the soundtrack of choice was "Escape from the City," and I went, "Oh,
rolling around at the speed of sound, got places to go.
Yep,
gotta follow my rainbow."
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh man, this one's for Josh."
There's never a bad time. You know what? If I die, I want that played at my funeral full blast.
Okay.
I think
that's on the internet for posterity at this point.
Yeah.
You got it. I'll do it, dude. I'll do it.
Courtney, do you happen to know if my capture card came in?
I did not work today, so I do not know.
Okay.
I know it did not come in the other night.
I can't believe they did that.
Yeah.
Can't believe that it happened, or can't believe that my store did it, because I completely believe that it happened.
Yeah.
You should have heard me on the phone, like when Sean called me and said that when Sean texted me and said that they'd sold it. Like, nah, man, I was ready to go there and be like, what the fuck?
I assume, like, I don't know, you take the physical thing and put it behind the counter in the back, or wherever you put it with a note on it or something that says on layaway for so and so.
The guy claimed there wasn't a note on it, but still,
But it says in the computer system if stuff has been, quote, pre-ordered, and that's what layaway looks like.
Because here's the thing, is that it came up before when I made a purchase that was totally unrelated, and they said, oh, like, you have the capture card pre-ordered. And I said, sort of, it's on layaway, like, I'm not going to make a payment today kind of a thing. But, like, it was brought up before.
Yeah, because it's
totally on a completely different purchase.
Yeah, it's absolutely in the system. No, there's the store is gonna burn when I leave in March. So get what you
clarification.
Need before then.
That is not a threat. That is the store will implode on itself.
Yes,
because it has organizational problems.
Yes,
not that we condone firebugs.
No, it's it's gonna just implode upon itself because
What's the search?
That's my phone telling me it's time for podcast.
Also, apparently that is also like there's a Kim Possible live action movie happening on Disney Channel.
Yep, I have no comments on that.
Yeah,
that can be
pretty much
comments.
That can be pretty much our
That's the stance
extent,
on that.
That's the word that I was. The extent of what we discussed regarding that.
Yeah, right. It's happening.
So let me just write down the topics so that I can look at chat.
I personally think it may be a train wreck, because everything going live action these days.
Smash, Sonic.
Yeah.
And then if we want to talk about VGAs. Yep.
That's kind of all I've been doing, and I was really upset last night that they moved the house
I saw that you were playing that last night, and I was like, oh, sorry, Courtney, I'm playing Smash.
No, I didn't have the Wi-Fi password because they moved me in-house to another house.
Oh, no.
And I didn't have the Wi-Fi password, so I couldn't,
How dare they?
Updated.
How dare they?
So I updated as soon as I got home from internship today, because I just keep going from work to internship to.
Well, the patch didn't drop until today anyway, so.
No, but I had my Switch. I worked overnight.
Yeah.
Wow. So probably could have updated it at midnight or so.
Oh, hang on! I just noticed I have a poster that fell. Hang on, let me go fix that, and then we'll start the show.
Cool. But yeah, so I updated when I got home from internship today. I was like, yes, auto catcher. That's what I'm more excited about. Was the auto catcher or the auto harvester? Auto harvester. It harvests my wool from my sheep, and it harvests a couple of it auto catches stuff from animals. So I don't have to go around and shear my sheep every morning. It just happens. And then
that's what multiplayer's for.
Well, I finally made a decision and married somebody in Stardew.
Well, that's a serious decision, so you should take your time with that.
It was a serious decision, and I legitimately spent about 3 weeks wondering who I was gonna marry.
Courtney, before we start the show, please tell us, who did you pick so I can tell you why it was the wrong decision. And
I chose Sebastian.
Okay. You chose poorly.
It's a powerful name. That's a good name. So I'm already good with this choice.
He is
he's a wonderfully emo kid.
Super emo with anime hair.
Why am I not surprised the edgelord emo kid is named Sebastian?
He also.
Why are you not surprised that I chose to marry him?
He is also an aspiring game designer.
Of course he is.
Yeah. Everybody knows Leah is best.
Yeah.
She has her own house by the river. She's artsy, and you can win her over by just giving her salad.
Yeah, but I won Sebastian
Doesn't sound like my type of girl.
No, probably not.
That's my whole thing. See, I won Sebastian over just by giving him void eggs. Because
that's weird.
That's something that he loves.
But that's weird. Nobody else likes void eggs.
I know.
I'm just
everybody else gets ice
so
cream.
much Final Fantasy 14.
Penny is pretty popular, but then the big joke is she is the only person in town that likes poppies. So there's some joke about that. So yeah, but
I went back and forth. I went back and forth between Sebastian and Abigail for like legitimately 3 weeks in real world time.
Oh, you should have picked Abigail because she eats rocks. If you give her a gemstone, she'll say like, "This is so delicious."
Yeah, if you give her anything that she loves, she'll say, "Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so delicious."
Yep.
Yes.
So, why don't we get started? As we may have visitors coming. I don't know, but so wanted to get this done earlier rather than later. So
yeah.
Also, so that we could get started on time for once. Which always my fault, but you know. So
Our fault, comrade.
No, I never start the stream until 7:30. When we should be doing pre-show before and actually then starting. Anyway, let's go live now. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up on episode 124, Avengers is in the Endgame. Smash Brothers Ultimate, Sonic is Nightmare Fuel, and much, much more on the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. We're bringing you the latest and greatest geeky news from the past week. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and with me are my wonderful co-hosts, Courtney Bolin.
Hi, everybody.
And Josh York.
Avengers, did you say Avengers Ender's Game?
Yes.
That would be a more interesting movie to me.
Starring Harrison Ford. So, yeah, I guess we finally got an Avengers Endgame trailer. And yeah, we have Tony Stark sitting in a spaceship all alone with Wilson.
All by myself.
Next thing we know, he's gonna start carrying around that helmet as his little buddy. He's gonna go like, "I made fire!"
Yes.
He's eventually gonna make his way back to Earth, find life difficult to readjust, and
yep.
And
want to go back to living on a rock.
and then Pepper Potts remarried and moved on.
And then start providing voices for animated toy movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be a tiny toy version of Iron Man. But
that is
Buzz Lightyear is kind of Iron Man.
A little bit.
Kind of.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, I saw the trailer. I don't know if I'd say that I was hyped like some people were. I thought it was enjoyable, but yeah.
I all I can remember is the beginning scene with Tony Stark, and I can't remember anything else from it. That's how forgettable it was for me, and that's how little I care about it, I think, at this point.
I do appreciate the fact that like they didn't really show a whole lot from the film, because I think that's something that trailers are guilty of these days.
Yeah, they add all of the best parts of the movie in the trailer, and it's like you have nothing really to look forward to other than the like what's actually surrounding those exact moments that you see in the trailer. So
we do see Hawkeye and Ant-Man, or I guess I should say Ronan and Ant-Man.
What?
So apparently it's Hawkeye turns into like kind of a darker more brooding character, almost like Batman.
Wait.
And he changes his name to Ronan.
Even more dark and brooding?
Yes.
He's not dark and brooding. He's a family man.
Yeah. But he turns into basically like a dark vigilante kind of character and starts going on a vigilante spree. Taking matters into his own hands. And this is from what I understand from the comics, and changes his name to Ronan instead of Hawkeye and stuff like that. And then of course Ant-Man just showing up. Just being like, hi, we met a couple years ago. I'm on your doorstep. Let me in. I turned into a really big guy.
He's going to go to the quantum world or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
And he's going to beat Thanos with the quantum power.
Probably.
I don't know. That's all I know
Who
about
knows?
the second Ant-Man movie.
I have no idea. I still haven't seen it.
Nor have I. I just what little I catch here and there I've learned about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really behind on movies. I'm hoping to be able to catch up pretty soon.
But from what I understand, I guess they also pushed the release date up for Avengers. Like, I guess it was originally slated for May, and they pushed it up to April or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
That's a little bit concerning, actually.
Like
usually they'll push movies back, not
well, they push it
earlier.
back to do reshoots and stuff like that. I mean, pushing it up means that like, oh, hey, like this is like they don't have much post-production work left to do. And they don't anticipate any reshoots. So yeah.
We shall see.
We shall see. Really quick news for Heroes of the Storm is there hasn't been any news of HGC 2019, which is the pro tournament. So all the pro players are like, hey, Blizzard, are we going to have jobs next year? Because you haven't said anything about it. One team completely jumped ship and said, hey, you guys haven't posted any information. We need money, so we're going to go play Dota instead.
Wow.
Yeah. Because that's...
I mean, at the same time, like, I don't really blame them.
Yeah.
Because, not knowing is kind of like, nah, dude, they need to know.
Yeah, I was explaining this to Megan before we started the show, and I was like, this is like if... So obviously it requires a bit of suspension of disbelief, but like if, for example, Major League Baseball had to announce that there's going to be a season, at the start of each year, and they just like kept waiting, and all the teams were like, are we going to play?
Well, I mean, there is, because they have to announce the schedules.
That's true. Yeah. So if they just decided like, yeah, we are not releasing a schedule yet, and everybody's just like, is the season canceled?
Yeah.
If you remember, was it 93 or 94, the strike where there wasn't baseball season?
Yep.
Wait, really?
Not the same thing, but there was a time when there was, because you made me remember.
In the 90s and the early aughts, there were a number of strikes.
I just know 1 year there basically wasn't a season.
Yeah, baseball.
Or no, strike. The second half. It was like the second half of the latter third of the season.
Yeah.
Because
the NFL
has the Montreal Expos were really good that year, and they didn't get their chance.
I think the NFL had a strike 1 year. The NHL had strikes for several years. There was no NHL season.
Whatever. It's hockey. I don't care.
And pretty much after the last one, that was when like the Hartford Whalers went under.
Oof, is that a team anymore? They weren't a team for a while. Are they back?
No.
Oh.
The Whalers might be a team, but I don't believe Hartford has a team these days.
I do not pay attention to any hockey.
Yeah. It was just nice because like it was actually something somewhat local to us,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I never went to a game or anything. But yeah, it was just interesting because it was like, oh no, it's gone like everything else in Western Massachusetts. Oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully there's some HGC information coming soon.
Fingers crossed.
So that way there will be a pro season for Heart.
Well, I wonder if it's popular enough to generate enough revenue or create a profit for them.
I also wonder if Blizzard put so much focus on the Overwatch League that it kind of took over other games.
Possible.
Like their budgets, basically.
Heroes isn't that popular of a game. Although it does okay on Twitch. When I'm looking at Twitch, it's usually
it does okay.
I mean, it's okay, but
I mean, comparatively,
it's not like League. League is always top on Twitch.
Comparatively to League and Dota, it doesn't.
Which I didn't even realize people were still playing League.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I never hear about it anymore. I guess it's just.
I mean, they just released that music video.
That's true. I saw the music video, but I just never hear anybody talk about that game anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it's still there.
I don't know if I don't know if MOBAs are kind of in the public consciousness right now because because Battle Royale is kind of the new.
Oh yeah, no, they had their time. They had their time in like 2010, 2011.
So
they were big, and then
I think it's your and I hate to use the term, but flavor of the month players have moved on, but you still have like that core community still playing. It's just whether they do any outreach, I don't know. Let's see what else. Video Game Awards, they happened. I am a little embarrassed to note that I did not write down any of the winners of said categories. I was more looking at the announcements.
That's okay. I've got the results here.
Awesome. Any interesting ones?
Let's just go through them real quick. Game of the Year, Breath of the Wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this true? Wait, is this this is 2017. Oops.
I was gonna say
like, wait a second.
I think that's last year's. I was like, because Breath of the Wild beat out God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean this pleases me, but I don't think that's correct.
That's the weird part to me. I'm like, beat out Red Dead?
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Game of the Year, God of War. Yeah, obviously, that's correct. God of War, Game of the Year. Best ongoing game, Fortnite. What the heck kind of category is that? Best ongoing game.
So it's basically it's like the game as a service thing instead of like basically like it's almost like best online game.
Yes, it's a weird category.
Because
best
it would
game
be
direction, God of War. Best narrative, Red Dead. Best art direction, Return of Obra Dinn. Do either of you know that game?
Nope.
No.
I've seen it.
We talked about it last week.
It's I think it's a Steam game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen it. It's kind of weird. I don't get it. Best score, Red Dead.
Yeah.
Best audio design, Red Dead. Best performance, Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan from Red Dead. Games for Impact, Celeste.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Best indie, Celeste. Best mobile game, Florence. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Best VR game, Astrobot Rescue Mission. You did not Beat Saber? Get the heck out of here.
Oh, Beat Saber didn't win?
No. Best action game, Dead Cells. Best action adventure game, God of War. Best RPG, Monster Hunter World. I guess. Best fighting game, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Not Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, I guess Dragon Ball FighterZ was huge.
You have both.
I do have both. I like Street Fighter more. Dragon Ball Fighter. Yeah. Best family game, Overcooked 2. Best strategy game, Into the Breach. Best sports/racing, Forza 4. Best multiplayer, Fortnite. Best student game of Combat 2018. I guess these are like college kid games.
Yes, they're college and high school projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best debut indie, The Messenger. Best esports game, Overwatch.
Oh,
Best
really?
esports player, Sonic Fox.
Nice.
Actually, I watched his acceptance speech. It was a bit cringy. He was super nervous. I felt bad for him.
Oh, that's kind of precious.
Well, it's also, when you're kind of representing a bunch of communities that like the internet loathes.
Yeah.
I can imagine getting up in front of a bunch of people.
But I'm glad. I like Sonic Fox a lot, so
yeah.
I'm good. Best esports team, Cloud9. Best esports coach, Bach Reapered Hangyu. Best esports event, League of Legends World Championship. Best esports host, FJ. I can't say this name. It looks very Scandinavian. Sorry, EFG. EFA, maybe it's EFA. I don't know. The best esports moment: C9, Cloud9 comeback win in Triple OT versus FaZe and E-League. Content Creator of the Year, Ninja. And that's it.
Yeah, those last couple of ones just seem like really weird. I mean, that would be like if the NFL decided to do awards and they were like best play of the year kind of a thing, which is like,
Well, I can see that.
Like that's what goes in a highlight reel, not that you win an award for, kind of a thing.
Still, I mean, the most memorable, like back when I was still watching football and when I cared, was when the Giants beat the Patriots and the dude caught the football on his helmet like one-handed. That was awesome. So I mean, I think that was a pretty defining, memorable moment as far as that whole season went.
No.
I am a Giants fan, although I haven't watched football in about 4 or 5 years. So,
I mean, I agree that there are good, but I agree like it's not like you win an award for it.
Or like again, I'm surprised they didn't have Tokaido's like win at Evo, because that was such a huge deal in the fighting game community and it was so big for him because he'd been going for it forever. And
I just think it's such a weird. I don't know.
Content creator, I get it, because those like ninjas had such a huge impact. Again, I see it in my students all the time. They'd always talk about Ninja and different Fortnite streamers and stuff. So those people clearly have a huge impact on video games, and particularly the people who play them. So I get it. It makes sense. But I do agree they're kind of strange awards, but it's, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
And what was announced?
So I know the big one from Nintendo, I was admittedly a little disappointed, but apparently there are people going nuts for it, is that Jester from Persona 5 will be one of the DLC characters.
Oh yeah, the JRPG people love Persona.
Like I think it's surprising for sure, but the way it was played up made it seem like it was going to be a much bigger announcement than that. Although, also, Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to Switch.
Also, real quick, just go back. Yeah. Persona 5 is not even on a Nintendo console.
Nope.
Which is weird to me.
And again, but from what I understand, it was because it's made by Atlas.
It is made by Atlas.
Who has made games for Nintendo before, and they're owned by Sega.
I guess.
Now, who has a good relationship with Nintendo. But yes. Unusual.
Maybe that means you guys are going to get Persona 5 on Switch.
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, I'd kind of be for it, you know.
I would love to see some more Final Fantasy characters get announced as part of the DLC.
I want Squall. The biggest edgelord in Final Fantasy ever. This is what he does. He goes, whatever. He does that multiple times in the game. He does that with his arms. He goes, and what's saying goes, whatever.
Oh, jeez.
It's amazing. It's great.
I would love to, like, Tonberry. I want to see Tonberry. And then he just has, like, a little, like, stab attack.
Moogle. They should have a Moogle.
Yeah. Because isn't
he's in Final Fantasy 6. There's a Mog in Final Fantasy 6 that's in your party.
Yeah, isn't that character's name Mog?
Yeah, I think it is Mog.
Yeah, Mog should be a character.
He's a little, like, rapier.
They should get Mog and Frog.
Who else is a pretty iconic?
Because like there's a bunch of really good like sword-based characters, but I don't want to just add more.
They're all sword characters. You could do Terra from 6. She's a summoner.
Black Mage.
Oh, Vivi would be good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. All the most iconic characters are all sword people, pretty much. I'm trying to think.
I mean, you could
put Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. He's in Tekken.
Or even just like if they add, like Vincent.
That'd be a weird one.
No, Vincent.
I'd be for it though.
Yeah.
He'd basically be Bayonetta, kind of.
But
he'd turn into his Super Smash would turn into a monster because that was his limit.
Yep.
I want Barrett, just so he can shout and swear, and have machine gun arm.
Yep.
Or Sid, either of those two from that game.
Sid would be great.
I just like the two angry old guys in your party.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like 19, 20, young, and then you have like Sid and Barrett.
Yeah.
Sid's like 48.
Yeah.
He's angry at everything. Barrett is just they both just swear all the time. It's great. They're the best.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that game. I can't wait if it ever happens.
But yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 was announced for Switch. So the other thought is that maybe and I don't personally know if it'll happen, but to see like if Scorpion or Sub-Zero will be one of the DLC for Smash,
that would
with that announcement.
Yeah.
But yeah. I can't remember. There was a couple more big, like they were considered big announcements.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yep.
On the Switch, I think. Switchy.
Yeah, there was actually. I was surprised.
I think it's on everything.
Yeah, there was quite a few announcements.
It's Switch exclusive for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah.
Cool.
I remember playing that in college. Yeah. The first one.
It was on GameCube. I was gonna say I remember on PS2.
It was. I think it was a buddy of mine had a 360 that it was on.
Rage 2 was announced.
Yep.
I didn't think anything of Rage 1. I didn't play it because it's boring to me.
Yeah.
A new Dragon Age teaser.
That's what it was. That was the big one.
I am into.
Yeah.
We'll see. What the teaser didn't give anything, so whatever.
Yep.
I'll wait till I get an actual thing.
Yeah.
Oh, The Outer Worlds by Obsidian.
That's right.
Looked
sci-fi game from Obsidian seems pretty interesting.
I don't know. I didn't know what to make of it. I don't know. At first, when I saw it, I'm like, "Is this a new Borderlands?" I didn't know what it was at first. It kind of looks like BioShock or with Borderlands, but
yeah,
interesting combo.
I mean, they're both first persons, but it's just like the style and the little bit of comedy in it kind of looks like that. What else? What is this Atlas? It looks like a pirate thing. I don't know. Yeah, something called Atlas that looks like it has to do with pirates.
Oh.
From the makers of Ark Survival.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be...
It was like
another open world pirate game.
Yeah.
And there was some other stuff too, like new trailers for games we've already known were coming out.
Yep. So
I watched some of that. That award show's kind of cringy.
I can't watch it.
It's a little.
I really can't.
Like at one point they had Rivers Cuomo and another dude from Weezer come out to announce this other band that did a song for Devil May Cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it just seemed so
forced
fake and weird.
Yeah.
And then like the band performing was really cringy as well. It was just weird.
Like I can't.
There was just a lot of that where I was just like, ugh.
It was just a lot of cringe. Instead of fringe, it was cringe.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah. So, before we get into Smash, let's address the abomination that is known as this apparently Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming in November 2019.
How can you call it abomination when you've seen nothing of it other than a poster?
It is that character design. That character design's real bad.
I mean, it's again.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
Let's see.
Like now I have to see for myself to see exactly how terrible it is.
You can't see it. It's a silhouette.
If you look at the overall build and shape of the character, it's not good.
It's not good.
It has it is firmly like at the bottom of Uncanny Valley.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously.
Also,
I didn't realize it was going to be a live action.
Yeah, also they have confirmed, and Sega's not happy that they're actually changing the face of the characters so that Sonic will have apparently little beady hedgehog eyes instead of the big, like, basically one giant eyeball.
Oof. Oof, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's to the point where, I mean, they've come out and said Sega is not happy with the character design for this film.
Nope.
Yeah. Also, no gloves.
Yeah, that's just weird.
And just, I mean, if you really think about it, like, just how Sonic looks, like, regardless of whether it's old school Sonic or new school Sonic, translating that to live action is not. I mean,
why would you even do it live action? Seems like the dumbest idea. Why not just do an animated movie?
Be edgy, bruh.
Because Disney is doing live action now, and they want to follow.
Yeah, and they all look like they suck. I've never seen any of them. They all looked awful.
Jungle Book was really good.
Yeah, that one it
was. Also, let's talk about this. Is Netflix has apparently done basically the Jungle Book called it Mowgli.
It's called Mowgli.
Yeah. But it's like the same exact concept, and then using, again, like a big all-star cast kind of a thing. And it's like, why?
Because they can.
Andy Serkis, why? Is the question we have to ask you.
Because they can.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Basically, yeah.
Like,
I'm just...
Sorry, nobody can top Christopher Walken as a giant
coming out with a cowbell?
Like, you can't. You can't top that. We can all go home now. So yeah, Sonic film, November 2019. Character design looks awful. Live action.
It looks like nightmare fuel. Call it what it is.
Yeah, like they could have done it really well as an animated film.
Yeah, like actually
there have been a number of good Sonic cartoons. And yeah, this is just
there's also been a relatively popular Sonic comic that's been going for some time.
I think one of the earlier cartoons was somewhat based on the comic, or the comic was based on that cartoon.
There was some sort of togetherness with them.
Talking about good Sonic games. Let's see, what's the last Sonic game I played was oh geez, what the heck was it?
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
No. It was it was like back in 2011, 2012 probably. It came out. What the heck was it? You played as like older Sonic and younger Sonic, and some levels were side scrolly and some of them were like
Sonic Generations?
Yes. That was actually a really good game.
I've heard good things about
fun. Allegedly, Sonic Mania that came out this year was pretty good, which is funny because that was basically a fan-made game that just got the licensing.
Yep.
More or less.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and Sega was like, you know what? Let's just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Good guy, Sega.
Yeah.
And it's basically like playing Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Essentially, pretty much. And everyone's like, oh, wow, remember when Sonic was a good game?
Yep.
This is what it was like.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sonic did not make a good transition to 3D.
No. Well, it's hard because
you can go too fast.
On going fast, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to control that in the 3D world when it's not on rails, which, again, Generations does pretty... And I get that's based on some of the adventure games, but I think Generations made it much more smooth.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of on rails, whereas there aren't branching paths or anything really where you mess up. It's more about your timing with your jumps and your micro movements that are
Sonic
precise.
Adventure 2 had you literally on rails.
Yeah.
I remember playing Sonic Adventure on my Dreamcast.
Yes,
actually.
I remember my friend had
that one. That game really threw me off for a while because I was just like, wait, did this thing really happen? Was this a real game?
Well, it was also like it had all the worst parts of like collectathon games, and there were basically like 3 different kinds of levels, and that all played very differently. So it's like playing through Sonic's levels was very different than playing through Tails' levels. Very different from playing through Knuckles'
and that's
levels.
the thing that I always...
Nobody wants to play as Tails. Come on, get that.
Dude, I loved playing as Tails.
No, Lane, get him out. He's just there to follow Sonic.
Playing as Tails.
Except, like, the whole point of playing Tails is that he can fly, and that you don't because you're in a mech. Like,
no, I just
Tails
remember...
in a mech fighting God. I'll play that game.
Of course you will.
No, I remember, like, trying to actually describe Sonic Adventures, and I couldn't describe it right, and so... Like, everyone was like, what game are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know. It was probably just some manic pixie dream girl, like,
Sonic
fantasy.
trying to be Donkey Kong 64 and taking the worst parts of it.
Well, I mean, trying to follow Mario 64 was super successful, and it worked really well. They made a good jump into 3D.
Yeah.
Mario Sunshine, very good.
Yeah.
And then it would be about the time that Sonic Adventure came out, and just... Again, Sonic's about going fast, and it's hard to control something that fast, especially when it's not designed well.
Yeah.
So stick to the 2D or stick to a semi-on-rails type of thing and just make it about precision.
Yeah.
In your play, and it's fun. Because, like I said, play Sonic Generations. It's really fun.
Yeah.
You probably get it on Steam for like $5 now. It's a great game if you want to play a good, modern-ish Sonic game. Or just play the old 2Ds. Or play Sonic Mania, which just came out. Don't play all these dumb, like, Sonic, God, like, it's like Sonic and Friends adventure dumb games. I don't know. You, like, switch between, like, Knuckles and Sonic and all these other characters. I don't even know who they are. And it's dumb, and I don't get it. It's not about going fast. It's stupid.
It's dumb, and you're dumb, and you should feel dumb.
Yeah.
That's
what
I'm hearing.
I was a bigger Sonic, so, I mean, Mario was fine, but I had a Sega Genesis for my childhood. After my original Nintendo. So I played a lot of Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. And it was like, I was a way bigger Sonic fan than I am a Mario fan. So
yeah,
I have more nostalgia for that.
Yeah, in my family, it was weird because we were, like, my cousins were more, like, Legend of Zelda games, but I was right on it with Sonic. And then I discovered Mario and was like, oh my God, what have I been missing?
Yep.
Which, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. I think we can safely put this topic
to rest.
Hey, you know what? They better put City Escape in that stupid movie.
I can guarantee that they will put some kind of punk ska.
Oh my God!
Will be the soundtrack.
The opening. I already know what the opening is. They should hire me for this. The opening of the movie is just gonna be Sonic, like, going really fast through the city and causing mischief and hijinks and eating a chili dog. He'll, like, stop and grab a chili dog and then he'll keep going fast or something. Or, like, he'll go really fast and steal a chili dog out of someone's hand. Whatever. But the whole time, City Escape is playing.
So
and
apparently,
we'll get to the top where he's on top of the Golden Gate Bridge, like in that picture where it says Sonic was here. He's eating a chili dog. Yep.
Apparently, part of that film
I'm calling it.
Is he will get faster and faster, and it's that journey of getting faster.
It's all there is.
It's so dumb. I just can't.
Who's gonna be Dr. Eggman? Danny DeVito.
No word.
Dude, I was just about to say that.
The funniest thing that I saw was somebody drew a Dr. Eggman, or as I would prefer, Dr. Robotnik mustache, and, like, the shades on the Rock.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad.
Because it's coming from the director or producer of Fast and the Furious. Yeah. So that's why everybody had the cast of just, like, all the big notable people from Fast and the Furious as Sonic characters.
Vin Diesel
Vin Diesel and The Rock.
There we go.
And yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad.
I
would not be mad at all.
It's just, oh God.
Wow, I'm all in on this.
I can't.
We're going to see it.
No.
I'll pay for everybody's tickets. We're going.
Maybe.
No, dude, you would have to. I would not be able to see that thing sober.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
So Josh, you'll pick me up and pay.
So, all right, we're done. We're done with that. So, really quick, Critical Role.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did we talk about the new intro last week?
No.
No. So new intro.
Because it came out this week.
New animated intro from the same folks who did the D&D Beyond video.
Yes.
Featuring vocals by main vocals by Laura Bailey and Ashley Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And then backup vocals by Travis Willingham and Sam Riegel. They do like the chant at the beginning. And basically animating like the adventures of the Mighty Nine.
Can I just say, like, I cried a little bit, and this is, if people are like way behind, I'm sorry, this is spoilery, but like Molly's coat on his grave was just like, I cried a little bit. I got a little weepy when I saw that.
And then like, yeah, I had a hard time, and then I saw on the subreddit somebody pointed out there's a raven that's perched on top of it that flies off, and then and then the next time I went back to watch it, I was just like, I can't.
Yep. Yeah, I noticed the raven the first time. I was like, everything. But, oh my god, I can't.
The big thing is there are so many little details that like you don't note it, that you have to keep going back and watching it. So things like when they go to the cart and like Bo's standing there waiting, and then like Yasha comes up, you notice that like Bo's blushing until like Jester gets there, and then she stops and like snaps out of it because she's looking at Yasha.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to watch it again now.
Or you see like when she catches Caduceus's hat, it's Caleb has his hand on her shoulder and his eyes are glazed over because he's seeing through Frumpkin's eyes.
Now I really have to go back and watch it again.
Yes. So there's all sorts of and then same scene is Not has her flask and she's like tilting it back and forth like Sam does when he's trying to get the last bits out of his out of his
monster flask.
Yeah. So she's just like rocking back and forth with it. So it's a lot of just little moments like that really show the amount of effort that went into this video.
I loved at the end with Matt with all of the NPCs
and guest characters.
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
that was awesome for me.
Yep.
Like seeing that, I was like, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I have to go back and watch it like 16 more times.
Yep.
Good thing I have a few more hours until work.
Yep.
Between that and Stardew Valley.
Yeah. But also in Critical Role news. Also, they're going to be doing an art exhibition of basically fan art from the community that were selected by Liam O'Brien. He whittled down for like thousands of art pieces to about 50, and they're going to be in like a public exhibit, like art exhibit in LA. They're going to have like an open reception and everything. So yeah, these are going to be pieces hanging on the wall of just Critical Role art, and it's going to be like an art show.
Oh my god.
And then
that is intense.
A live show in LA called The Search for Grog. So
it's going to be a one shot?
It's going to be a one shot revisiting Vox Machina. And everybody will be reprising their roles save Travis and Liam, because it will be post episode 115. So they will be bringing in new characters.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah.
Side note, I just need to add this in because I have actually now been watching Blind Spot for the sole purpose of Miss Ashley Johnson. And in season 1, they do make some like D&D jokes. And it's like, oh, well, what do you, elf girl? And she's like, actually, I play a gnome cleric.
Yeah.
And I absolutely lost it while watching the show. So I had to throw that in there. It was absolutely adorable. It is somewhere in season
I don't
1.
think Ashley's going to be there for the live show, unfortunately.
Oh.
I don't recall if I saw her name on the billing.
Blind Spot, you have to stop filming.
Hey, is the current campaign, how far after the initial campaign is it set?
I believe it's something like 33
I think it was like
years?
25, 30 years.
So
Something.
Vox Machina could still be around.
Yes.
They most definitely are still around.
However,
well, not necessarily, but they could.
Well, so assuming that no tragedy befalls them, yes. Matt has said, so they're on a different continent.
Right.
And then he said that he wanted to keep, a lot of direct references,
right, of course.
different.
Yeah. But like he actually had Taliesin explain as Percy to not like firepower and like how guns work.
The whole firearms thing.
Yeah, it's like
wait,
I'm
what?
gonna ask. Yeah,
so basically they
it
encountered
wasn't actually Percy, but what happened was Not picked up a gun, and she was like trying to figure out how does it work, and so Matt decided to go to Taliesin and say, well, I'm going to have the creator, aka Percy, explain how this gun works. And so Taliesin was able to explain to Sam, this is how the gun would work.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not Percy appeared out of thin air and explained it.
What I was trying to figure out.
It was a neat little flavor thing. But it's for example, like it's been heavily implied that like firearms in Wildmount is a direct result of Percy's actions.
Right.
They find it's Pumat Sol's reading Terry's book.
I remember that actually. Yeah. That was early on when I was still watching.
And other little stuff like that, but highly unlikely that, like Keyleth will certainly still be around, and highly unlikely that she'll make an appearance.
Keyleth and Vex.
Yeah, Vex. Yeah. The gnomes. The gnomes would probably still be around. But unlikely if Grog would still be around.
Unknown, I think, is the better way to put it.
I would say unlikely. Grog is the one that tragedy would most likely befall.
True, considering they said they lost him once before the original campaign started airing, and then they lost him again.
yeah. But yeah, so this new adventure, this new live show will be them searching for Grog after I think it was after he drew one of the cards and got sealed away.
That's right.
That happened in the epilogue, that he pulled one of the cards and he pulled like the dungeon card or something.
He was like, he had somebody. Yes.
Or basically he ended up in Pandemonium, and so they got to go rescue him.
I thought they already did.
No.
Or something. It's something like that where they go rescue him.
I think that was towards the end. I can't remember.
But
I watched it most recently. The last thing I remember him doing was he pulled a card and it did not end well. But then he somehow got back.
Yeah.
And
well, I think there was a time skip, from what I understand. And it was after the time skip he came back. But they kind of glossed over that whole stuff. So this is going to be during that time period. So yeah. I wonder how weird it's going to be for both the audience and the players to basically get into that mind space of those characters again.
Well, it's funny because we were talking earlier, Sean, this week about or maybe it was last week, about how Travis is playing Yasha a lot still while Ashley's gone.
Yep.
And there's just so much he's slipping back into Barbarian.
Yep.
With a lot. And so this past week he's like, oh yeah, I was slipping into Grog a little bit. So I'm really excited to see.
I wish that he would use his Grog voice when playing Yasha. just to mess with the audience.
That would be really fun. That would be really, really fun.
But yeah, so if any of our viewers or listeners are in LA, I believe it's in January, mid-January. you can get tickets for that.
Sweet.
I know the art exhibition, I believe, is the 19th and the 20th. So yeah. So last up, Smash. Finally here.
Smash.
Spirits mode is actually really good. It's very addictive.
What is Spirits mode?
So Spirits mode is basically like a combination of the old event challenges, combined with like trophy collecting and then the stickers from the Wii U version, where you add them to your character and they get like buffs and special abilities and stuff. So there's actually two different spirit modes. There's World of Light, which is like I wouldn't call it like a story mode, but it's basically like there's a big overworld map and you go around the overworld map and you do little challenges and you unlock areas and stuff like that. And then there's just like the spirits board, which is just, it'll show you what spirits you can collect and then you just fight them. And if you win, you win. And then you go to a little mini game to actually collect the spirit. And if you lose, like, it gets removed from the board. And you lose out on that spirit until it gets put back on the board again. So what these are is the spirit will be some character from any of the games that are represented by Smash. And then what they do is they use game mechanics and characters that are like any of the fighters within Smash through either mechanics, combinations of items, or special like statuses to basically like represent that spirit in the game. So one of the things I encountered was like for Gutsman from Mega Man is they'll have like it'll be Mega Man who's in Gutsman colors, be like giant, like will only grapple you to use hammer arm and then like throw you, and it's like a stamina battle instead of like a regular like damage and smash battle. Let's see, another one was like for Dry Bowser, is you fight like a white Bowser, and after a certain period, like he automatically gets like the chili item, which basically it continuously breathes fire, and the floor is on fire, like the floor is lava.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see. What was a really interesting one? Dr. Wily. So, Dr. Wily is Dr. Mario, but you also have to fight 8 metal versions of Mega Man in order to get to him.
Yeah, of course.
And all the different Mega Man characters will use a different ability based on whatever guy they were representing. So, like, the Woodman one will use, like, the Leaf Shield, or, like, the Hyper Cutter, or the Sparks, or the Flame Jets. And so you have to beat through all 8 of those robots in order to get to Dr. Mario, and then beat him. And then you unlock the Dr. Wily spirit. So it's really interesting. And then there are primary spirits, which are basically treated like a character. You get to equip 1 primary spirit, and it determines like the power level of your character and the bonuses to attack and defense you get. They also come with a certain number of slots for support spirits, and they might have a special ability. And then support spirits are just like augmented like passives. So they might be like, you might get a slight bonus to punches, or sword, or other melee attacks, or projectile weapons. Some of the bigger ones that take up multiple slots might be you are immune to poison, you are immune to lava floors, you're immune to fog, you're immune to high winds. And then some of the better ones might be like Dr. Wily is, your opponent's final smash meter charges slower. It might be your final smash meter charges faster. When you successfully block an attack with shield, you regain health.
Hey, that's right. There's no more smash ball. You have a meter, right?
There's both.
Okay.
So
well, at least you have a meter.
And in like regular Smash matches, what you can do is you can actually turn the meter on or off, and then you can also turn the item on or off. So like if you really want people to do it, like you can just have both on. But if you want to have it be like a more classic fighting game, you can like turn items off but turn the final Smash meter on.
I wonder how pro tournaments are going to do it.
I think they might do that.
I don't know. We'll see.
And then the way it works now is like they did away with almost all the transformational final smashes, so that it's either now like just an attack that happens on screen, or it's you do like a dash forward to connect with it, and if you do, then it does like a small a small cut scene.
What's have you seen Snakes? What's Snake? Because back on Brawl, it was you had the rocket launcher and you had to put the aim or the crosshairs.
Shoot. I think it might be unchanged then.
Okay.
Because for something like that, they didn't change those. Like I know Bowser's used to be like you would turn into Giga Bowser, but now what it does is Bowser jumps into the background, he turns into Giga Bowser, and then you get like a targeting reticule. And what you do is if you connect, like if you successfully like catch a character in that, he then like punches forward into the screen, and you hit anybody that's within that reticule, just like they get smashed into the screen and just die.
Smash into the screen and die.
Yeah. I know Ridley's is like you get thrown onto Samus's ship and then he like flies around in space and then breathes a laser attack onto you and the ship explodes. Yoshi's is you get trampled by a herd of stampeding Yoshis.
Oh no.
Yeah. Whereas like Pikachu's is like he uses Volt Tackle. So he'll like bounce around the screen and damage you, and you know, because you get like knocked back every time you get damaged, you can't really do anything. So yeah. It also removes, you know, stuff like the supersonic Final Smash where everybody was basically like KOing themselves by turning into supersonic because you were just too fast. And they would like go to hit somebody and then they would fly past them and just off the screen and die. So there is that. I will note this game is a lot faster than Wii U and Brawl, to the point that it took me a long time to get used to the controls. So it's a lot more like Melee. People have been noting. I like
that.
But yeah. I've unlocked a bunch of characters. I still have some of the cooler ones left, like Cloud and Ken.
Ken is just Ryu.
Yes. I do have Ryu. I have unlocked Ryu.
You get all the blue hair sword people.
I don't know. There's just more.
There's so
I've unlocked a bunch, and there's just more keep coming. Crom, Corrin, Marth, Lucina, Ike, Roy, Robin. I'm sure I'm missing more. I'm just like, no more Fire Emblem characters, please. No more.
Bayonetta. Do you have Solid Snake?
I do have Solid Snake. I unlocked him through the like adventure board mode.
Good.
Yeah, I actually really like that. Like, there's some cool puzzles in there too. So it's like, one of them's like with Splatoon, you're like taking little like electric fish that are used to like power stuff, and you have to like figure out how to power walkways with them to get around inside this power plant. So that was pretty cool. Stuff like that. I have completed phase 1 of that mode, and I'm now in phase 2, and I will leave it at that because holy moly, there'd be big spoilers if I divulged the information in that.
Spoilers?
Yeah, I mean it's not plot, but it's...
How can there be spoilers in a game like Smash Brothers?
There can still be spoilers in anything.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how.
It's difficult to describe, but it's stuff that it was a big surprise. Let's put it that way. When defeating some of the bosses.
Okay.
In that mode. So, because they have separate boss fights where you're not actually fighting one of the characters. You're fighting like a giant boss character that you don't get to play as. One of them is from Monster Hunter, actually. You get to fight a Rathalos. So that was cool. But yeah. Yeah, a lot of the event matches are pretty interesting. Plus you unlock, managing spirits has now become a fun little mini game in and of itself. Because like a lot of them they sort of evolve when they reach level 99. So your goal is to like get them up to level 99, see what they turn into, and then they will get significantly more powerful, and then you can level them up again. There are a whole bunch of Metal Gear Solid spirits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of the most powerful ones is the boss.
That's right.
And up until I got Mega Diancie, she was like my go-to.
What does the boss do?
So the boss has increased power when when grabbing and throwing. 3 slots for support spirits, and a good level of base power. So yeah.
Cool.
So just recently got replaced by Mega Diancie because Mega Diancie has an even higher base power, 3 slots, and starts with an item that you reflect projectile attacks. So, but yeah. I will point out, Waluigi exists as a spirit, as well as Geno from Super Mario RPG. Geno, much better than Waluigi.
Really?
Nobody's better than Waluigi.
Waluigi's spirit is kind of bottom tier.
What?
Yeah. Low base power, 1 slot, and it like gives you a bonus to kicking attacks. Because it's the version from Super Mario Strikers.
Boo.
So. But yeah. And I'm really enjoying the sort of stage morph mechanic. So like halfway through the match, it'll change to a different stage.
Oh.
Yeah. What I don't like is that they have you pick the stages before you pick your characters. And that's just weird, because it was always the other way around. Is you would pick your characters first.
I think it's on my Street Fighter 30th anniversary. It's the same thing where you pick stage before you pick character, which was really weird to me.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a random stage select either.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, you're stuck in this one stage for...
Oh, they also have a bunch of Street Fighter spirits.
Oh, who do they got?
So I unlocked Chun-Li, who transforms at level 99.
Gotta have Chunners.
Blanca,
Okay,
who gives you a bonus when using electrical attacks.
Yeah.
Vega, who I think has increased jump.
Yeah, I would think, or speed.
Balrog, who I think has increased fist.
Yeah.
E Honda. I don't think I fought him though. I think I summoned him.
Yeah.
Who else? Zangief. So Zangief, you don't unlock as a spirit. He has a training facility, where it improves grabs and throws, but like reduces other stuff.
That's funny.
There was somebody else.
I'm assuming they're all Street Fighter 2 characters then, probably.
Cammy, I think was one of them.
She's in 2.
And then M. Bison was like the final boss of that area. Because you go into like a sub area, and then what it does, it's like an airport. So then you get into a little plane, and you're actually flying around just a map of like Earth.
Oh, I love it. Just like the old.
And they play the music. Yeah. So like on all these sub areas, they'll like play a non-remixed version of that theme. So like there's like a Donkey Kong Country one, but there's like a Street Fighter 2 one, and yeah, they have you fly around and they play like the sound of the plane, and you're like, so
no guile?
sadly no guile, no Dulcim. I was hoping, I was like, what are they gonna do for Dulcim? Like that's so weird. No Guile. Makes me sad.
Oh well.
His special ability would just be you do it for America. And then you can upgrade or you could upgrade him and then the thing his special would be like go home and be a family man or something.
Yes.
But he is an assist trophy though.
Okay.
He will show up and he will do his bicycle kicks and everything.
It's called a flash kick. Thanks.
Sure. Whatever.
Gosh.
Yeah. Actually, there was Spectre Knight from Shovel Knight was a thing that I unlocked.
Oh, I like that. That's
it's
cool.
I think you fight like one of the Belmonts, and they start with a Death Scythe equipped. And what they do is, it's also assist trophies will spawn, and when they summon it, it's Shovel Knight. So like he'll like shovel dirt at you and like bury you in the ground and stuff. So between the two of them, it gets really hectic. But that was
you in the ground. That's just
because he's a knight with a shovel.
Well, yes,
that's what he does. He digs. He digs things up and he digs things down.
No, Dig Dug digs.
But so does Shovel Knight. Like it's literally a mechanic in that platformer, Courtney.
Dig Dug also takes an air compressor and blows up beings that live beneath the ground.
Shovel Knight is literally like picture just like a fully armored like plate wearing knight running around with a shovel and beating people with a shovel and digging up treasure. But yeah. So very cool. I'm digging it. Played it a lot. We will definitely be playing it at some game night sometime. I don't know when.
Yeah, I mean now that I have my Switch and Wi-Fi at work and not something to do every single moment while I'm at work.
I have heard online plays a little spotty, so
sounds standard for Nintendo.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It never hurts to try.
It's not really defensible, let's put it that way. But yeah, so Smash Brothers. It's good.
Hey.
That pretty well, unless just really quick, Stardew Valley 1.3 dropped on Switch. Which includes multiplayer, the night market, all that cool stuff. So it does not have couch co-op. This is apparently something that, like, despite the fact that we've known this for like over a year now, people are still like, what do you mean? Oh my god, why can't I do couch co-op? And it's like, number one, because it would be terrible. Number two, because that's not how it was coded.
Why would you even want to do couch co-op?
So that they don't have to have multiple switches. I don't know, Courtney. I don't know.
I know. Like, just thinking about it mechanics-wise, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know. But so yes, that is out.
Yes.
And that is going to conclude the regular news for this week. Let's get on to This Week in 8-Bit Adventures, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, so first with a bit of news. Due to the amount of time that it's taken me to do the streams as they currently exist right now, I've basically been spending a lot of time doing the streams and stuff, and kind of not been spending a lot of time doing other responsible things, let's say, at home. So there's just going to be a couple of quick changes to the stream schedule. So the first is the 8-Bit Art stream is going to move to a bi-weekly stream. So it'll be on for next week. I'm basically going to do it on the off weeks where we don't record Tales of Jamora. So that way you'll still get like 3 streams a week, kind of a thing. The art stream and the game night stream are going to move to being an hour instead of 2 hours. And they're going to start at 8:30 instead of 8. And that's it. So it's really like the other streams that were kind of just done for fun. I'm just going to scale them back a little bit. It's just, especially with, we have 2 people from out of town visiting this week, and trying to coordinate that and a stream schedule and other stuff, has been difficult, so I'm just going to cut back on that and then focus on the other stuff a little bit more. So that's that.
Sounds fair.
Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about 8-Bit Adventures comic 2-47, which is making fruit dishes. So yeah. Courtney, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I am.
Let's put it.
There's a few things that just made me laugh about it.
So first off, there's even a Shrek reference in this comic.
Yes, like so much about this one though made me laugh. First, it was the Shrek reference. You know, who doesn't love parfait?
Everybody loves parfait.
Everybody loves parfait. But also frushi, like the fruit sushi, and I just love how Iggy is holding the sword.
Yes.
And
so that so that is kind of a reference, but it's more just inspired by the first Ninja Turtles movie, in which when they're hiding out, we see Casey Jones taking one of Leonardo's katanas and using it to chop carrots with.
Oh, okay. All right. I was not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kid, so
like it's not necessarily like oh, that's like the first movie that did that in or whatever, but it's just something that I remember, and I was like, oh, you know, this would be funny if like Iggy's gonna use his sword to like cut fruits and vegetables with.
I will say though, like I'm pretty happy to see him being safe and having like a cloth over the blade.
Well, yeah, it's a broadsword. You can't.
I know.
You can't just put your hand on one. Yeah.
I'm happy to see he's being safe and not reckless.
Well, yeah.
and then just the honey pineapple glazed ham with the cherries. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
This was good. Actually there was a discussion as to what sort of fruit-based entrees would be appropriate for a cooking competition.
Yeah.
Because really, fruit's not something that you typically have for an entree.
No, it is not.
No.
And if you do, it is because you have fruit for your entire meal and you get the runs for the next day and a half. Because that's what happens a lot with extra sugar.
So yeah. So the idea was to do it as like a glaze, and then you know, with ham, it's that stuff like is classic with ham.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then parfait.
Yeah. Parfait.
You know, if you're Frost Mage, you freeze things.
Parfait. Absolutely.
So yeah. So parfait, ice cream, all these things.
Yes.
Anything chilled.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna be surprised to see what the fruit ninjas come up with.
Quite possibly 99 different fruit dishes.
I mean, that is a possibility. But so yeah, so I'm excited to see how they're gonna handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally just trying to stick to the here and now and not, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen now that the sword is out and like being used for stuff and like other stuff like that. Like, no, let's focus on the food challenge.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll go a little bit crazy.
Yep.
A
little bit. So.
But no, I was giggling a lot when I saw this one this week. I'm really excited. As I said, I'm excited to see what the Fruit Ninjas will have come up with. And again, like, quit the Stalin.
Nope.
Figure out what's we gotta quit the stall. Yeah.
Nope.
Because I'm ready to see what's gonna go on with Melody and her parents.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so ready to see what's gonna go down with that.
Yep.
But
so
I don't know.
Last
to speculate wildly.
Last bit of news. We have Tales of Jamora this week, so tune in on Friday 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
We'll see some Law and Order. I have so much research being done. But it's like I don't want to plan out too much because
the laws.
I then don't want to have some sort of oddball edge case come up and then suddenly completely throwing everything out the window. But yeah,
this week is definitely going to be one that you're going to want to watch.
I think so. Officially,
so much is going to happen.
No word from legendary DMs to the stars, Chris Perkins and Matt Mercer, on my very sort of pushes up glasses, very minute, like asking about minutia in the Waterdeep legal code. But that's totally fine. It's, we'll find out the answers to such questions, I'm sure.
Yeah. They're busy men.
So and then we'll see where that goes, because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Nor do I.
No. I will say that I
have an idea of what May's gonna do.
There will at least be some number of opportunities for Jacobin to make deals.
And now my question is, will there be opportunities for May to screw Jacobin out of those deals?
I don't know. But there will be.
May really wouldn't care.
There would be deals, opportunities from NPCs and potentially other PCs to assist. So, but we'll leave it at that.
I summon Norn, and he destroys everything.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of vengeance to be had here.
You're entering the realm of one of the other gods of justice.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Some other idiot.
Norn's basically like third rank of the gods of out of the 4 gods of justice.
They're all idiots.
You're going to jail.
Maybe.
And May's not gonna do shit to get you
Or I'm just gonna try to kill everybody and run away.
Yeah, that is not advisable.
That is not gonna happen. You
Blaze
will not
of glory.
get away. You will not get
Contingency
away.
plans for that may have also been made.
May will not let you get away with that.
But yeah,
I don't think May could stop Jacobin if she wanted to.
It depends.
May on her own, no.
It depends.
But
if she got the drop
at least,
on Jacobin,
now
yes.
if you got the drop, that's one thing. But if you're just gonna stand in front of me, I don't think so.
Well, no.
Oh no, I'm not talking. No.
I mean, we're basically talking about like, to put it in a hero's context, it would be like Valera versus Butcher, probably. Leoric.
Who I guess two-hander Varian probably is the closest.
Maybe, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, not Urel.
No,
Urel's too tank.
Too tank.
And Garrosh is too tank.
Jacobin's pretty tanky though.
Not that much.
But yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of just raw damage output.
Yeah.
Lots of burst damage.
Yeah.
Basically, you both have a lot of burst damage.
I'm gonna say, we're both kind of the same.
If I get the drop, I hurt.
Yes, especially, but yeah,
I hurt a lot.
Hopefully, it never comes to that, because why?
Because it's him.
I disagree.
But yeah, so tune into that and find out what happens. And just as a plug, if you are falling behind watching the YouTube videos or listening to the audio podcasts and you want to be up and up on the latest episodes, you can become a $2 patron on the 8-Bit Adventures Patreon and get those episodes basically as soon as we get them from the output at the TV station.
Yep.
So yeah, just throwing that out there. Let's continue. Speaking of, D&D stuff, let's continue our discussion in quest log.
Woo!
So this week we're talking about the sorcerer. These are arcane casters, full casters that get their magic from natural ability and their bloodline instead of, practicing and learning through study or petitioning another power or another being for their power. They're just naturally gifted. One would argue that one Harry Potter would actually be a sorcerer. He knows a limited number of spells, he gets by on natural ability, and he is all around a terrible student.
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah.
I totally accept that as canon.
Potter.
And in fact, uses his charisma more often than his smarts.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I absolutely accept that as canon.
Actually a sorcerer.
Yes.
I mean, well, yeah, I guess.
Yep.
Well.
Yeah, no, he knows like 5 spells.
I guess I don't know enough, so I can't make the distinction.
Yeah, I believe, at least over the course of the movies, he only ever uses like, I think 5 might even be too much.
Generous.
It's like 3.
Leviosa.
Yeah, he basically uses whatever disarms people, or Expelliarmus.
Expelliarmus. Yep.
He uses Expecto Patronum.
Yep.
And then I don't actually know what else he uses.
Doesn't he use the kill spell?
No.
No,
he never uses the kill spell.
He does use Lumos and Nox for light. I do know that he uses those both.
Cantrip.
Yep, cantrips.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will totally take that as cantrips.
I would argue Expelliarmus is basically like Mage Hand. And then Expecto Patronum is basically protection from good and evil.
For all intents and
protection from evil and good.
For all intents and purposes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, because it gives basically extra planar stuff disadvantage on attacks, and you can't be possessed.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations. He knows 2 cantrips and a 1st level spell. So anyway, we digress. So sorcerers, naturally gifted, they know spells. So like bards and rangers, they only know a limited number of spells. But they get more class features than wizards. So they have more things that they can do with those limited number of spells that they know. They do this through what is known as meta magic. And they get sorcery points to fuel that meta magic. So you might get subtle spell, which removes any verbal or somatic components, so that like people don't know you're casting a spell. You might get quicken spell, which is you can cast a spell that normally takes an action as a bonus action. You might get twin spell, which is any spell that normally has 1 target now has 2 targets. So like if you twin haste, this means you can cast haste on 2 creatures.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I'm
sadly,
sorry, I'm thinking of getting rid of the somatic features of spellcasting, because holy cripes, yeah, that can get
it's pretty good.
That's insane for like RP wise.
Actually,
yeah.
Let's bring up the full list, shall we? Because I believe careful spell is another one, which is you get to designate certain targets as safe.
So like your allies and stuff won't be.
All right, so here's what we got: is Careful Spell, which is, you choose a number of creatures up to your charisma modifier. Those creatures auto succeed on saves against the spell. So it doesn't completely protect them from damage, but you could, like, if you drop a fireball or a shatter spell, and a bunch of your party members are in that area, you can then spend a sorcery point and say, yeah, they all succeed on their save. So they, auto take half damage. Distance Spell, which is you can double the range. Or if it has a range of touch, it means it can be cast up to 30 feet away.
Wow.
Empowered Spell, which is when you roll for damage, you can re-roll the damage dice and use the new rules. Extended Spell, you can double duration. Heightened Spell, which is target has disadvantage on saves. Quicken Spell, Subtle Spell, and Twin Spell. Yep.
Wow.
And then you can also, you can either turn your sorcery points into spell slots, or burn your spell slots to turn them into sorcery points. So, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, as I said, I'm still just thinking about, like, being able to cast without being, like, know that you're casting from an RP standpoint. That there have been so many times throughout the campaigns that I've watched, and even I think a couple times with ours, when it was still a home game, that it's like, oh, well, do they have to see you casting it? And being able to have that basically have the drop on them and being like, oh yeah, I can cast this, and they won't even know.
Well, so for example, if it still has a material component, you still have to do that.
Yeah, but if you have to, like, say stuff and move your hands around and stuff like that,
yeah,
a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes it more difficult to detect that you are casting a spell until the spell goes off.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, and then then all bets are off.
Yeah. The other big feature of sorcerers is determining where does your magical talent come from. It's usually that at some point in your ancestors' history, they introduced some sort of unusual bloodline into your family. Like, say, giants, dragons, elementals, shadow beings, or the unusual chaotic nature of magic itself. So some of the bloodlines you can pick are draconic, giant, wild magic, storm, shadow, or divine soul. And each of those kind of changes the nature of the sorcerer.
I was gonna say, wild magic is the one where you roll a die when they do, like, magic and stuff happens.
So wild magic is for specific triggers. You roll on a table, and then a random effect happens. And at first level, it's quite likely that some of the effects could cause a complete party wipe. Like, especially you cast Fireball on yourself.
Because that's something that can actually happen.
Yeah, it's whenever you cast a spell that has a level, the DM can have you roll a d20, and if you roll a 1, you roll on the magic surge. And then starting at first level, you can manipulate the forces of chance and chaos to gain advantage on an attack roll, ability check, or save throw. And then when you use it, again, you roll on the wild magic table. And I think that's it as far as what forces you to roll on the wild magic table. But then, like, at higher levels, you can, like, roll twice and choose whichever result you want. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The Draconic bloodline is basically you grow scales, you gain resistance to that dragon's type of damage. You gain bonus damage for that element. You can sprout dragon wings. You get like a fear aura. I remember Storm Soul is you get bonuses against lightning and thunder. You get the ability to fly. You get bonus spells related to weather.
Wait, you straight up get the ability to fly?
A lot of the sorcerer ones, like for Dragon Sorcerer at 14th level, you just gain the ability to sprout dragon wings and fly around whenever you want.
Whenever you want, not for like a specific amount of time for a day. Like, because
No.
that's insane. In the membrane.
I'm just checking to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's no. Yeah, you can create them as a bonus action, and they last until you dismiss them as a bonus action. Yeah, the only other thing is your clothing has to accommodate wings, or it gets destroyed. When you sprout the wings.
That's easily done.
And you can't sprout them if your armor doesn't accommodate them. But, whatever. You're a sorcerer.
That's easily done. You get the stuff made when you have the wings out.
Also, you're a dragon sorcerer, so your scales don't stack with armor anyway. So
true.
Unless you're going around being a plate sorcerer, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Literally, what are you doing?
Giant sorcerer is you get like a bunch of hit points and you get like a bunch of strength-based stuff. So you become like a weird tank sorcerer.
I was gonna say that seems kind of useful as a sorcerer.
Yes. And you can and I think the bonus spells that you get are based on the type of giant. And so they have a lot of stuff focusing on getting extra hit points, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah. Like I said, that's pretty powerful because
I was gonna say, aren't sorcerers usually pretty squish?
Yes. Yep. So as a full caster that focuses on like a full arcane casting in particular is sorcerers and wizards use a D6 for hit dice, which is the lowest. Better than previous editions where they used to be D4s.
What?
Yeah.
That's not fair. That's not right. Oh, wow.
Well,
That's wow.
But they're still pretty squishy. That means that you're likely getting 3 hit points a level.
That's just
because unless you decide to put Constitution in there, yeah. So yeah.
So great output, but not too good as sustainability.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as their spell list, sorcerers they get a lot of like evocation and conjuration type stuff. They don't get a whole lot of utility related spells. And the ones that they do get are kind of like more classic utility type stuff that are really focused on like battle.
Yeah.
But like if you're looking to build a necromancer, like sorcerer, probably not the right class. Nope. Whereas if you're looking for like a pyro mage, sorcerer's a good fit.
If you like blast and damage spells,
yeah,
sorcerer.
Yep. And then a strategy is make sure that whatever spells you do pick, you're going to get a lot of mileage out of them, because you don't get a whole lot. So
correct.
So it's like pick wisely.
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, so Divine Soul Sorcerer is a weird case in that one of the class features, you get to pick cleric spells and add them to the sorcerer spell list for spells that you can know. So they become like a really powerful kind of offensive and defensive caster, just in terms of magic output. and they get a bunch of like healing related abilities. So, like if you're gonna try and do like a Final Fantasy type game, and you want white mages, you can actually build them as a Divine Soul sorcerer and do that, rather than having them be a cleric. Because even like light clerics, still get like plate armor.
I was gonna say, how do I get Omni Slash? But then I was like, oh yeah, it's on the Ranger spell list, essentially.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, Cloud is a ranger. With one sword, one big sword. His beast companion is
Red.
Or red. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chocobo.
Kate Sith.
Kate Sith is a robot.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so you can actually make quite a few different character archetypes with sorcerers. Just think about it that way. But any sort of like lightly armored kind of robed figure, just by their very nature of how they cast spells, most sorcerers are just naturally drawn to being a face, because charisma is their primary stat. They also can be proficient with persuasion, deception, intimidation, that sort of stuff, so they're very good at negotiating. The archetype they're drawn from is kind of like aptly named, like the sorceress archetype that are typically like the baddies in classic 80s fantasy films. So you think of like whoever, I can't remember the name, but like the main villain from like Conan.
Oh yeah.
Skeletor. Mm-hmm. Although Skeletor's got some weird multi-classing going on because he's way too buff to be a sorcerer.
They could just be all puff. There could be no real strength there.
Yeah. Coincidentally, Ganondorf as well would have some levels of sorcerer. Again, also he's got some multi-classing going on. I'm trying to think. I can't remember the character's name, but the main villain of Willow, who's like the Dark Queen.
Val Kilmer.
No. No, he is straight up Ranger. He is non-casting Ranger. And it's not Sorsha, because that's the daughter's name. But it's whatever the evil queen is, who has magical powers. You want to do an Emperor Palpatine archetype? Yeah. Full sorcerer. Yeah.
Well,
you want a bad guy? There's a sorcerer archetype for that.
Yeah. I was gonna say Palpatine's also got some fighter or something going on there.
Does he?
Yeah.
He fought by crazy. Throwing around platforms, which is telekinesis.
But he's crazy with a lightsaber.
Is he?
Yep.
When did we see him fight with a lightsaber?
Against Yoda, and also in Clone Wars.
Oh.
Okay. In the Clone Wars series, which is canon.
Yes, it is.
He fights Darth Maul and his brother.
Okay.
And he dual wields lightsabers, in fact.
Yeah, but anybody can do that in 5th edition.
That's true.
Anybody can dual wield. So yeah. Well, in that case, let me look something up. see if sorcerers get one of the weirdest spells in the game. Good old Tensor's Transformation.
I would also argue, I know it's not quite the same, but Storm from the X-Men is kind of like a sorcerer.
Absolutely. Yep.
She sorcerer of the whatever the Tempest. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, she would be a Storm Soul.
Storm Soul. That's what it is.
Where is this spell? Tensor's Transformation. It's somewhere. I don't know. It might not be a player's handbook one, but it should be. Well, let's. Oh, it's not. Okay, so you know what? It's a Xanathar's Guide one, but basically, Tensor's transformation is you turn into a fighter.
Oh.
It's like you gain bonus hit points, you gain extra attacks, you gain proficiency with all armor and all weapons.
Oh wow!
What?
Yeah, but it lasts 10 minutes. So the argument is like you cast it, and then it takes you all 10 minutes to put the armor on. Because you can't cast spells in armor that you're not proficient with. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But just for funsies, I want to look this up just to see. Because now I can't not look
now
it up.
We have piqued his interest, and now he can't leave it alone.
I must know if this can be done with the what's it archetype. I don't think so. No, they do not get Tensor's transformation, sadly. Instead, you can pick Investiture of Flame, Ice, Stone, or Wind, which basically turns you into an elemental.
Ooh.
Yeah. But you get some cool stuff in here. One of them being Melf's Minute Meteors, which you can see our resident sorcerer on Tales of Jamora cast, where it summons tiny meteors that orbit your head, and then you get to throw them as tiny fireballs.
I quite like that spell.
It's a good spell.
Yeah. I am a fan of that.
Yep. The best part is...
partially because it just kind of gives me a Kalthos vibe.
Yeah. And the best part is, if you have that active, you can throw one of them as a bonus action, and it doesn't count as casting a spell, so you can throw that and then cast Fireball.
Yep.
Fireball.
In the same turn. So yeah. But yeah, so sorcerers, pretty good. They kind of make for a good sort of enchanting villain archetype. As well.
So I think I said this maybe last week, or not too long ago, that I think if you're looking to play a caster and you're kind of worried about like what is out there, like how confusing it can be, particularly with wizards.
You were telling me that
sorcerer is a good way to go because it's pretty simple as far as casting goes.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
You have your set number of spells, there's no real switching spells in and out. So you got what you got, and you don't have to worry about preparing spells or any of this weird stuff. Or how many spells do I have and how many spells can I prepare? Wait, what?
Yeah. I would say the only complicated part comes in with the sorcery points, but basically as long as you can use them to power your abilities, or you can convert them to spell slots.
Well, yeah, even then they only do two things, right?
Yeah.
You use them to enhance spells, or you use them to give yourself extra spells.
Yep.
Spell slots, rather.
And then you can also burn spell slots to get more sorcery points. And that's the complicated part. I would argue it's just the whole you can turn points into slots, and you can turn slots into points is the most complicated part. Because otherwise it's just, you have these abilities and you spend sorcery points on them. And it's usually like the minor abilities, you spend 1 point to use it, and the greater abilities, you spend 2 points to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, things like Quicken Spell, they require 2 points for every spell, because it's really good.
Yeah.
Things like Subtle Spell, you spend 1 point. So, but yeah, I think that is it for our sorcerer discussion.
I think that's all we had.
Any final thoughts?
I don't know. I'm not as after this entire series, like I'm not as afraid to try spellcasters.
So we hope, dear listeners, that you have had the same experience as Courtney, where now you are not afraid to try and play other classes. And for the few listeners that have known me for quite some time and say, gee, Sean, maybe you should take your own advice
Yeah.
and not play a ranger for once, I will say I will gladly not play a ranger when I can finally finish a game with one. Since every other time I've played one, the game ends after like a month.
Our game's gone quite a while.
Yes. Yeah, basically, whenever your game finishes, then I will look into playing other characters, because this will be the first time I've actually gotten to play through a full campaign with a ranger. Across now 4 editions of Dungeons and Dragons.
Jeez.
Yeah. Second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Wow.
Yep. So.
That seems a little excessive.
Yeah. I have attempted to play other characters in games that quickly fizzled out. There was one where I was playing an artificer that basically was a ranger, it turned out. A ranged artificer with an owlbear companion, and all of my stuff was like traps. So I was basically playing a survival hunter with healing. But it was super cool. It was really effective. Ish. But that game quickly fizzled out. So yeah, that is going to be it for the night. Let's get our music queued up. There we go. So, if you enjoy if you enjoyed this stream, this podcast, and you want to see more stuff from 8-Bit Adventures, such as the wonderful comic that we talked about, you can head on over to 8-bitadventures.com, and over there you will find said content, as well as links to all of our social media accounts, and links to past broadcasts and shows and artwork and all that good stuff. If you want to support that content and get some cool bonuses, like being able to watch current episodes of Tales of Jamora, please consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/8bitadventures. Big shout out and thank you to all of our current patrons.
Whoop, whoop.
Looking into doing some special patrons only content in the future. Yeah.
So get in on that.
Yes. Our opening and closing theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his stuff over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. And with that, we are going to sign off for the evening. So have fun, everyone. Happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
King K. Rool is the best. And there we go. All right. So with that, dear stream viewers, we're going to head off for the evening.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Have fun. Stay safe. Make good choices. Don't pick Fire Emblem characters in Smash.
And if you don't make good choices, at least videotape it so we can have a recording to laugh at later.
Pick more interesting characters in Smash. Like King K. Rool. Best character. All right.